I know, you would die. I'm telling you.
Break anything, we're good. All right.
All right.
Okay, great. Okay. North Main Street, from my research, from what I've kind of seen, hasn't really been updated since, some people said the late 70s, so we'll say
Yep.
the Carter administration.
Sure.
It's 2016. We just had the Iowa caucuses last night. Has 1970s called and said, we want Main Street back?
Yes, and it's really since that time, since 1978, been an area of not even no investment, but more disinvestment. So businesses leaving that area, residents leaving that area. So that's why we're really excited about making that solid investment in the core of the city.
I've kind of been traveling down that section a little bit more often, and
Mm-hmm.
all about 2 blocks, if I'm not mistaken, is your ward, right?
That's right. Up in the further northern corridors, up toward Garvin Park, isn't in the 3rd ward, but the majority of Main Street is.
So this is kind of something that it's, considering that you're only been in city council for a month now. This
Right.
is obviously pretty big, so if this
Yep.
goes down, chances are people are going to point to you probably at times and say, you didn't do what you wanted to, what you promised us, but we're just at least happy that something's finally getting done.
Right. I feel really optimistic about the project's chances of getting passed by the city council. The mayor has already said he's supportive of the project because he understands the impact that it will have on the neighborhood and just even that commercial region. So I think that's why we're all excited, and it's made it through all of the hurdles so far. Went through the Evansville Redevelopment Commission, and now it'll come to the city council for the bond approval.
Much of what's going to be put on here is going to be, once it's finished, will be a dramatic change.
That's right.
From 1970s to 21st century, and
Right.
this is, well, it will probably be a part of Evansville that really has not seen any development of that kind since, probably since the Ford Center was built.
Yeah. Well, and as I talk to individuals, both residents and business owners in the area, they're just so excited because they've seen, as you said, since 1978, the neighborhood just kind of go further down. And when Main Street was cut off between the Civic Center, a lot of people on North Main felt like they were a forgotten part because they're not as connected to downtown. And this will really kind of bring North Main back to the forefront and offer that really a catalyst for more development.
We're having, obviously there's a lot above that we're going to be seeing. Below is the one
Right.
thing. We know the old trolley tracks are still there.
Right.
That is probably going to be the biggest hurdle of it, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It's going to keep ringing.
Yeah. Considering that, though, do you think everything else will be pretty much just fine afterwards?
Yeah, I think that the old trolley tracks shouldn't impact anything. I'm not sure what the results were, but the contractors who submitted bids accounted for all of that cost. So hopefully we won't see any surprises in the project as far as total costs and construction timing. We hopefully won't see any delays.
Besides really a McDonald's and a Burger King, everything kind of seems to be small businesses. Is
Yes.
this a hope that perhaps you can keep everything still small businesses with a few
Sure.
national chains? Like, I know IGA is kind of a national chain, but is
Right.
locally owned. Hopes of anything else really wanting to show up there that can keep it between, we're a big national chain, but we also like the mom-and-pop stores.
Yeah, I think that you'll see North Main kind of take on its own personality, and that's exactly what we want. That area of Jacobsville or Jimtown or whatever you want to call it, there are a lot of people who have lived there their whole lives. Their parents lived there, and now they're living there, and their kids are living there. So any sort of small business that can cater to the residents or also people who travel up and down that corridor every day. So you've got the IU Medical School and the consortium, all those students will be in that area and maybe living in parts of the city in Jacobsville as a close to downtown. So anything that will make it feel like a neighborhood and be able to serve amenities for the residents and people coming through.
Kind of no secret that two of your fellow city council members are real estate agents.
Sure.
Um, have they kind of been telling you that you'll probably be seeing, once everything's done, maybe a few for sale signs coming up on houses, knowing that people are going to know, this is great again, we can finally get rid of our house, move into a smaller apartment or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They haven't mentioned anything specific about anticipated changes in the real estate market, but of course one of our goals in doing this project is that assessed values of properties will go up in the neighborhood, just as part of more investment, and hopefully that will have just a starting effect, and we'll see a lot of other both commercial and residential properties go up in value.
This is being paid for by Jacobsville, right?
Yeah, it's through financing called tax increment financing, and with the taxing district, the money can only be used there for capital projects, neighborhood revitalization, economic development.
So with them paying for that, is that like a big, huge, like, okay, we don't have to worry about, the city budget, we don't have to, knowing that the previous city council kind of made fools of themselves with the past budget, knowing that you don't have to go fighting with other council members about the budget, that this is just being, this is Jacobsville taking it basically out of their savings account and saying, we're spending it the way we want to.
Right. The main thing I would love for people to understand about how this project is being paid for is that it doesn't have any impact on the general fund. So this money, as you know, is specifically kind of designated for revitalization and development in the Jacobsville area. So we can't fix our sewers with it, we can't fix a sidewalk on the east side or on the north side with these funds. There really is no impact to the general fund. So I think that's a big reason why some of my fellow council members hopefully are proponents of the project, because it really is for the neighborhood, paid for out of the neighborhood.
We know that Main Street is going to be the big thing, but are you hoping that within the next couple of years you'll start seeing some of the side streets off of Main Street really starting to improve also?
Yeah, absolutely. A big goal is not only just Main Street, but really trying to revitalize that area. The second main goal would be connectivity to other parts of the city. So we also want to connect North Main to downtown and North Main to Franklin Street and all the activities going on there, all the way up to Bosse Field and pulling in the Evansville Otters to really be a part of making something new.
Okay, so if this is approved, construction would start in the spring, right?
I think so.
Be about 2-year project. Okay, so if this is approved, let's see, we would have North Main Street, the hotel, the med school, Tropicana, McCurdy, Old River House.
And Block.
What else am I missing? If this happens, we're basically going to see detour signs all around Evansville for the next couple of years.
That's right. I mean, it's kind of like the interchange at 41 in the Lloyd. It was a little bit like 10 months of a headache, but the end result is really something great and something a lot better for our region. But yes, it will be a headache in the short term, absolutely.
So trying to, as you mentioned, connecting downtown. That I know downtown is something that Mayor Winicky has been really. I know Mayor Winicky says that he's been really focused on downtown, and I went to the LC board meeting on Saturday, and they said that after the hotel and med school, the LC 325 was really the next big thing for him.
Right.
Considering that we're now at that part where downtown is at the point where once things start opening up, will be kind of like good for itself. Basically, everything else is expected to spread out throughout the rest of the town, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a lot of work yet to be done downtown. We definitely will have the anchors of development, like the med school and the hotel and Tropicana coming on land. But we have to add in all the smaller layers of development underneath that. More residential housing, more retail, more nightlife, and again, connecting downtown to other areas of the city. So not only North Main, but also Franklin Street, going over to U of E and the State Hospital Park. That'll be kind of the next step, so that every single person in the city has easy access and connections to downtown, which really is becoming quite something.
I spoke with former Mayor Jonathan Weisapple, who's now over at Ivy Tech, and he told me that when he stepped into the mayor's office, January 2004, he could see tumbleweeds rolling down Main Street. Right now, I'm pretty sure you're probably hearing some people saying we can see tumbleweeds rolling down North Main Street.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that next 5-10 years that you'll be saying the tumbleweeds aren't there anymore, and if they are, they're probably in someone's house as a decoration?
Right. I hope that the North Main Complete Street project just totally changes not only how the neighborhood looks, but how it feels. So that it will bring that pride back to the neighborhood, so they won't feel like, oh my gosh, we're a ghost town, we're kind of a forgotten part of the city. Seeing all of their neighbors continually move out of the neighborhood, businesses leave, that this will kind of be our stake in the ground and say, let's reverse that trend. Let's show everyone that this really is an important part of our city and we care about making improvements and making it thrive.
Okay, Garvin Park, I've been up there a couple times, and it kind of seems like it too has been a little outdated with some things.
Sure.
But is this hopefully that's something that the Parks Department will take a look at once Main Street gets complete, that they'll want to invest a little bit more into Garvin Park, knowing that there are some parts where it's probably hasn't been touched that much. I know I've almost ran over a few ducks and geese that kind of decided to get out in the middle of the road. They don't care. They like to stop traffic. Are you hoping that this is something that the Parks Department and also City Council in the future will take a look at, going, this is important because it does have the third oldest baseball stadium in the nation, and we want it to we not only want Bosley Field to look great, but we want the park around it and the community around it to look great too.
Yeah. When it comes to Garvin Park, I think certainly that the Parks Department, the City Council, the Mayor's office looks at anywhere that there's a need, and there's a lot of people who are using a facility or a park or an amenity. As far as future updates, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything in the plans for Garvin Park, but I would also challenge people who use the park and want to see a change to say, hey, we're going to get a group together. We want to see a new shelter, or we want to see additional bike racks. How can we raise the money as citizens to do that in partnership with the city? That's what the Parks Foundation is there for, is if there's a group of citizens who really feels passionate about something and wants to see something done, let's do it. Mobilize. Let's all work on it together. I'll be there helping you get through kind of all the city hoops, but would love to see groups of students or groups of individuals come together and make things like that happen.
I guess we'll kind of turn to this. You've been on City Council now for a month.
Yes.
How has it been exactly? Has it been what you've expected, kind of not what you've expected? I know the first meeting I wasn't there for, but watched it online. It kind of went a little off a little bit, but besides that, have things kind of turned out the way that you've hoped and everyone else is hoping?
For me, I can only speak for myself, but I'm really enjoying the job. Maybe it's because I'm really passionate about the 3 departments that I was assigned to as liaison. The Department of Metropolitan Development, the Controller's Office, and Parks and Recreation. Those are things that really fit my interests and also my skill sets as far as analysis. So I've really enjoyed getting to know, more details. I have a long way to go. As you say, I've only been doing it a month. But I've really enjoyed the job so far. As far as the first meeting and other concerns and kind of complaints that are just come along with the job, for me, the most important thing is to do my due diligence, do my research, feel like I'm making the best decision, and be able to lay my head down on the pillow at night and say, I did the best I could with the information that I had.
I know Missy Mosby has been saying this a lot recently, and everything. And Courier and Press has kind of been echoing a little bit too, that she wants this council to work with the mayor. The mayor wants to work with this council.
Yep.
And a lot of people are saying that. I know with the 4 Republicans and Missy and Jonathan, who have been known to be with the mayor at times, that this is going to be a lot more friendlier city council. That things are going to get done. maybe we won't have as long city council meetings as before, but is this a hope that this city council will actually take some risk and say that, you know, we're putting our political future on the line, much like Owensboro did a few years back, and where they raised taxes, and within a couple years, $40 million extra, and now their downtown has done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And are you hoping that perhaps the city council will actually take the risk necessary and go, you know, if we have to put our political futures on the line, we're going to do it, and if come to find out this works, at least we'll be remembered by, you know, we put our political futures on the line.
Yeah, certainly. Again, I can only speak for myself. You know, I've been on the city council for a month, and certainly one of the things that I want to be remembered for is making solid decisions based on quality information. And if those mean, some of them, that my chances for re-election go down, so be it. I really think people elected me to make those tough decisions based on both data and research, but also on the stories and feedback that I get from people who live in this region. So if that means I don't get reelected, well, I'll do the very best that I can for 4 years. But I would certainly hope that we have a group of people who will do their very best and make good decisions. Sometimes, you know, the decision that maybe hasn't been made in the past, to really move our city forward and make some calls that are going to be very difficult. And certainly we're going to do some things that not everyone's going to agree with. But the reason I'm most looking forward to this council and working with the mayor's office is that we can agree to disagree. You know, if there's an issue that we disagree on, great, we're going to have those disagreements, but the wonderful part is that we can still know each person has the best interests of the city in mind, and we can still work together in the future. So I hope that's the difference that you'll see, not that we agree on every single thing, but that we can still remain good working partners and hold the best interest of every resident in the region in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome. If you need anything else, just